Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Grayscale Trust and Bitcoin. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so the first thing I want to go over here is Bitcoin. So you guys can see that we've had a nice little pop right off the support here. We told you about this on X. Look, this is going to play out one of two ways. Okay, either Bitcoin goes up back into this channel or it pulls back, and when it does, well, it could pull back off of here as a potential resistance. Basically, bears may be looking to try to short here. Do I think that's actually going to fly? Probably not. Part of the reason why I say that is because Bitcoin just had its first daily golden cross in quite some time. The last time we saw one of these was way back. Well, the last one that counted, I should say, was way back here, and the price, as you guys know, shot up from 70,000 to 108,000. So pretty rare buy signal here, and within 1 hour this daily close will actually close within the channel, so there is that. Now Ethereum is also going up as well, and I know this video is not really about Bitcoin and ETH, but you guys can see that ETH is pushing, basically knocking on the door of pushing back to all-time highs here, and it's getting pretty close. I'll tell you guys what I think is going to happen. So I think Ethereum will probably break out with Bitcoin, but I think that once Bitcoin has its next major leg up and tops out the next time that it's going to top out, whether that be this month or February or March or even April, that remains to be seen. But I think the next major move top, like say, for example, if this was what the move would look like on the next leg, let's say Bitcoin does go up another 100% or even 50% to 100K, whatever that ultimate top is, that's when we're going to see the money shift, in my opinion, from Bitcoin to ETH and the altcoin market. Okay. And the NASDAQ as well having a nice recovery. I'm not too worried about stocks and crypto. Like I said, I think all this is going to shift pretty soon, and we're going to see some pretty ridiculous gains. I'm literally saying the exact same thing I said before. And now that, I don't know if you guys know this, but Trump has actually been certified as president of the United States now, which me personally, I've been following politics for a long time. I was not even aware that this was a thing, but it was headed by none other than Kamala Harris herself. So you guys can go watch that if you want to. I wasn't aware that certification was required, but apparently it is. So that happened today as well. So it's pretty much a done deal at this point. Okay, so LTCN. Yeah, same thing here as before. Until we get out of this channel or even a close above the EMAs, it's still going to be the channel itself that is kind of be the buy area between 1230 and 1850 here, with targets going up to 27 to as high as 54. Keep in mind, LTCN's all-time high is 10x the swing high here, so 370% gain. BCHG. I would say probably anywhere below this blue EMA here at 660 and all the way down here to the white line at 5.25. Potential good buying area with targets going from anything from, I'd say, 1050 to 24. I mean, pick your poison on this one. Again, remember what I told you guys, that for every trade there's a counter trade, so 360% gain. So if somebody is looking to take profit at these levels at 12, like let's say for example 1240 and 24, there is probably going to be somebody on the opposite side that's going to be looking to short that level as well. So, and the inverse is true. If you're looking to dip buy, there may be somebody looking to cover their short at that particular level as well. So that for every trade, there's always a counter trade. You got to keep that in mind. This is what this all comes back to, trading psychology. So. Next level here, we got HZEN, so still kind of sitting on that structure level. I'd say the structure level is still a good buy, $5. You got a support zone and the EMAs right there as well, with targets ranging anywhere from 675 to 10.5. Obviously, it could go much higher. I mean, 30, 40, $50 on this thing would not be even all that ridiculous to think is possible. So 108% gain here. 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 108% ETCG, so we're kind of stuck in between these lines here. So I'd be looking for about 11.25 to 13 on this one for a buy. Targets probably up in this upper zone here at 1850 to about 20 for about 100% gain. Next one, ETH. So pretty much anywhere in this box down here. Again, the EMAs are sitting on the box, so that's obviously a double support zone. That means that there's a very strong likelihood it's probably going to hold. And that level is anywhere from 23 to 28.25. And the target I still have set at this point is this massive cup and handle. So the target for that is all the way up here at 53 for about 125% gain. GBAT. So it's sitting on the EMAs right now. We are actually above it. These green candles right here have confirmed that we are actually still above the EMAs, unless, for whatever reason this move gets invalidated or negated. That could happen. But at this point in the cycle, again, I really highly doubt that's going to be the case. So 730 to 980 for potential buy area. Targets at the all-time highs at 32. Of course, you can always scale out as it pushes past all-time highs. If you really don't want to leave any money on the table, some people just want to get out for one time, one and done. That's fine. Some people want to kind of scale out or scalp as it continues to ride to the upside. That's also fine too. So 355% gain on this one, FILG. Nice long wick on the previous candle that we got here. That is a very bullish indication in my opinion. I would still say anywhere from 44 to 66. Nice buy area there until we at least get above the EMAs. 400 is the all-time high for a measured move of 820%. Okay, GLIV, we got the inverse head and shoulders here. That's a bullish pattern. So the target for this is going to be about 31-ish. Of course, we have to get above the structure zone here. So the buy zone is still pretty much where the price is, anywhere between 12 to 15 at this point. You're more than welcome to, of course, use whatever strategy you think is best. So 80 is the all-time high for this one. 650% gain. G-Link, so a little consolidation here, probably before we have a move up would be my guess is what we're looking at. Buy zone, anything from 67 going up to 85 with the target of 220 for about 235% gain. GSOL. So this one's still trying to find a base down here at 20. Me personally, if I was going to position into this, I'd leave a little bit of room for error here, and this is just how I would do it. Okay, you guys can do what you want, but I'd be looking anywhere from 16 to 24 on this one, just in case it wicks down, or maybe there's like a fake out candle or something to the downside. Leaves a little bit of extra room to kind of buy a deeper dip, so to speak, and reduce the downside risk. The technical term for it is called a drawdown in trading. It's basically where you're at a loss, but you haven't realized the loss because you haven't sold or covered your position. That's essentially what it is. So it kind of minimizes that and also increases the potential profit to the upside. So 95 to 115 for targets here. Again, another way to do it is just a DCA down. You could do that too. So 650% gain. GXLM, so we're back within this resistance zone, and whether we're going to get a breakout this time or not, I don't know, because again, we have not actually entered alt season yet. I will talk about that in a minute. All coins are starting to warm up, but they're not really, like I told you all, we're not really going to see like a real serious, like full scale alt season until Bitcoin dominance drops off a cliff, and we just haven't seen that yet. So I would still put 36 to 40, I'd say 45 at this point as a potential buy area, because if it does get rejected here for whatever reason, people want to take profit short, it may just come back down, retest the EMAs again, and then boom, take off from there, with the time obviously filling the gap in between the dip. So targets, I'd be looking for 68 all the way up here to 96. For about 168% gain. Mana, next one here, so still plenty of time to buy this one. It's literally going nowhere, at least as of right now. So 10, I'd say about 10 and a quarter to 20 on this one for a potential buy area in that accumulation zone. And 70, the all-time highs, would be the target in this case. And keep in mind, these things can literally flip on a dime. I mean, they could start creating green God candles any day. It could literally happen for any reason at any time. I've told you guys this. So 625% gain here. I mean, look at this move back here, for example. And this is a perfect example, a golden example of exactly what could happen. Okay. This thing went from March. This was last year too, early last year, March 11th to, well, actually, let's see what this is. Sorry, February 5th to March 11th. So span of about 5 weeks, it went from $10 to the all-time high that we currently have of $70. In 5 weeks, if you had been buying in this accumulation here, I mean, obviously nobody can time this perfectly, right? But you would have been up 555% in a very, very short period of time. But obviously, you know, if you don't hit the sell button, then you don't make any money, right? So you got to be willing to take profits. Again, not financial advice, but if you're a bull, unless you're a dividend investor or you're staking your crypto, there's really no other way to make money on this other than maybe, I don't know, maybe you could potentially try to do like some crypto lending to get access to more capital. I mean, but then what you choose to do with that capital is up to you and you have to pay interest on it. So something to consider there. Anyways, Zcash, I would say, well, I mean, we're stuck between the EMAs here and this structure level. So that's, I mean, that's a pretty tight wedge. We'll have to see what happens here, but anywhere from 480 to 640, I would say is a good area to buy. So the EMA is basically up to this kind of structure zone here, with targets ranging anywhere from 950 to 1430 on this one, for a potential move of up to 190%. Okay, so Ethereum is knocking on the door of potential all season here. I do believe that's coming pretty quick. As for Bitcoin, I think it's probably just going to keep pushing up. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, the last cycle that we saw Bitcoin didn't actually top out until like March or April or May, something like that, is when it had its big sell-offs. So, and somewhere in that time frame, we got the dumping of the Bitcoin dominance, and then it just went absolutely stupid, and altcoins started doing legendary gains, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 1000x even. So yeah, this whole time while the Bitcoin dominance was actually pulling back and kind of consolidating, Bitcoin was taken off to the moon. But at some point during that process, we got the true alt season, and that's when this, basically March to May, that's when we saw the biggest gains on alts. I'm expecting something very similar this time. And again, when you think about it, it actually lines up perfectly with the confluence of events, not just in the finance world, but in politics as well, because Trump will be in office in January 20th. He'll need some time to get some of the things that he probably wants to get done, right? Like maybe a month or two, something like that. Again, Q1 is usually most heavily dominated actually by Ethereum. Ethereum usually gives the greatest returns during Q1, not so much Bitcoin. Bitcoin is Q4 of the halving year, and Ethereum is Q1 of the post-halving year. So with the timing of all that, it lines up very nicely for potentially seeing an all season somewhere during this quarter and going into next quarter. And of course, we have the diamond pattern here. Again, I've shown you guys this. It's a pretty rare pattern. It's not really that common, but occasionally you will get something like this at the top or bottom of a move. It's actually quite difficult to spot too, especially for experienced traders and newbies alike. But based on probabilities, this should break down based on the timing and the cyclical nature of crypto and where we're at in the cycle. This and the politics and all that stuff, we should see this breakdown probably. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it started breaking down within the next 4 to 6 weeks. I'm just going to tell you like that. I would not be surprised if we started seeing the move to altcoins probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks, maybe even a little bit sooner. So last couple of things I wanted to go over here is that the crypto stocks are starting to moonshot. So Coinbase and MSTR. NVIDIA had a nice day, surprisingly, too. And the miners also did pretty well. Not as good as they did on Friday, but still pretty good. I do think these miners have a long ways to go. Again, we can cover these in separate videos, but for now, on the short term, I do want to show you guys this. There's a lot of confluence going on in the miners right now. Okay, we're about ready to get that golden cross signal on the 4-hourly time frame on CLSK. Riot's already gotten it. Mars about to get it. HUD8's about to get it. Or, my bad. HUD8 already got it. So, Cypher is about to get it. BTBT has already had it. BITF had it, or is about to have it. Hive is about to have it. Iron's about to have it. I mean, guys, I literally can't even make this up. Okay, so what am I saying by saying this? Well, basically, we just got the oversold signal on the RSI on the 4-hourly time frame, which is a very bullish signal by itself. But then you get the golden cross that confirms the bullish move incoming, okay? Like back here during, when was this? November, we got the oversold signal on the RSI. You can see it right there. What do we get afterwards? We got the golden cross on CLSK, and then we had this absolutely insane move where from the golden cross alone, the price went up 64%, and from the oversold signal, roughly about almost exactly that time, it went up a massive 84%, okay? This is the main swing trading indicators that we use for kind of short to midterm swing trades. So it's a pretty powerful tool. It's has and potentially could have captured gains anywhere from 15 to up to 200+% on traditional stocks. So just something to keep in mind there. I do also want to point out this one last metric here. Okay, we just got this major oversold signal here. A pretty rare signal by historical standards on the stocks above the 50-day moving average for the S&P and the NASDAQ. So yeah, I expect quite a bit of time, more upside before any next pullback that we may or may not see in the stock market and in the crypto markets based on this indicator right here, okay? Because again, when we get the oversold signal here, it's rare. It's only happened a handful of times in the last 4 years, and every single time it has happened, from the time that it's signaled to the next major swing top, it is a matter of many, many weeks before we see any major pullbacks. 77 days, 84 days, again 84 days. You got this one here, which actually took a little bit longer. This was about 133 days. And if we just go from the blast off point here on this one, back in October, you guys can see it was still roughly about 77 days. So we're talking like 2 to 3 months at least before any potential 5+% pullback in stocks. And again, that would line up perfectly with seasonality because stocks usually historically will pull back sometime in March to April, August, September, October, somewhere in there. So if it's 2 to 3 months from now, it would line up perfectly with historical seasonality during a bull market year. Okay, so anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.